So what is the topic today is the VPC. The VPC. VPC stands for Amazon Virtual Private Cloud. VPC stands for Virtual Private Cloud. Virtual
Private cloud.
It resembles like a virtual network. It resembles like a physical network in our organization. Same network, physical network is resembles a VPC. Okay.
Okay.
It is also known as the hybrid cloud. Three types of clouds are there: public cloud, private cloud, and a hybrid cloud.
Cloud.
The difference between public cloud and private cloud is resources are shared between the multiple tenants. Resources are shared in the public cloud. Whereas in private cloud, resources are not shared.
Not shared. It is specific to that person only.
Yes. Whereas hybrid cloud is a combination of public and private.
Private.
Here, same thing here. So under the public cloud, we are going to create a private. Means combination of public and private become a hybrid.
Hybrid.
Okay. So what does mean by VPC? VPC stand for custom defined virtual network. Custom defined virtual network.
Virtual network.
Within our AWS cloud. Where we can provision logically isolated section, means that we are going to create a independent network for us. We are going to create a independent network for us. Okay? We will create a independent network. On top of independent network, all resources, our resources like front end, back end, application end, all the resources we are going to deploy on the top of the VPC.
VPC.
Mean that the network which is created is isolated from all. Okay, the network is like how you create a data center, that you have own data center and own network is there. Like that in AWS cloud, we also create a own network.
Okay.
So there is nobody is there. You will create a own network, and own network we are going to deploy our resources. Okay.
Okay.
That is known as the VPC. Here generally how the network will be do, how the network will have, so what are the components are the network here, generally how network look like, how the network look like. There are several components are there in the network. Okay. So what are the network components are, like we have switch. Okay. What?
Switch.
Router. Okay. And maybe hub is there, that is outdated, and firewall. Okay. Next, devices. Devices may be computers, printers, anything. And IP address. And media. Media means how the devices are connected, either wire, okay, or wireless. Either with the help of wire we can connect, with the help of wireless we can connect. So what are the components of the network? Switch, router, firewall, devices, IP address, media. Okay. Same network here, if you draw the block diagram of the network here. This is the ISP. What is that? ISP which provide the internet connection. Okay. Internet service provider. Okay. And this one is the router. This one is the router. This is the switch. And these are the devices. That is a PC1, PC2, PC3,
Mm.
PC4, PC5 like that, so on. Okay.
Mm.
Each and every device having an IP address. Suppose this taken IP address is 10.0.0.1. An example I had taken.
Mhm.
And this machine having IP address of 10.0.0.2 and so on.
Mm.
Each and machine having an IP address, having an IP address.
IP address.
All IP addresses are should be unique. Okay, same IP address cannot be assigned to the multiple machines.
Mm.
IP address should be different from one machine to other machine.
Other machine.
Understand?
Mm.
Here then from the ISP router connected, from the router switch is connected, from the switch all devices are connected. All devices are connected.
Connected.
Understood?
Mhm.
And then this part switch and devices, this part is known as the LAN. With that
LAN.
local area network. Okay,
Mhm.
so this part is known as the local area network. And ఎవరు క్లాస్లో ఉన్నా అని చెప్పి ఏంది అడుగు సార్. Here switch is connected to router and this router is known as the WAN device. What is that? WAN device.
WAN device.
WAN, wide area network,
Mm. Mm.
which provide the internet connectivity.
Internet connectivity.
Who will provide the internet connectivity? Router.
Router.
So router is connected to ISP. From the ISP, they will have a connection to the router, and router will provide the internet connectivity for all devices.
Devices. Mm.
The switch is connected within the LAN. This part is known as the LAN. Okay. This
Okay.
part is known as the WAN. Okay.
WAN.
This
Mm.
router also having a 2 IP address. Switch doesn't have any IP address. Remember that.
Mhm.
Switch doesn't have any IP address. Understood?
Okay. Mm.
Switch లో IP address ఉండదు. Here,
Mhm.
see this side having one IP address, this side having a one IP address. Understood?
Okay. Okay. Uh-huh.
This is known as the inside network. This is known as the inside network.
Inside network.
This is known as the outside network. Okay.
Mhm.
This is known as the outside network. Okay.
Mhm.
Here, these devices want to communicate with each other. Here, there are devices are there 10.0.1, 10.02, 10.03, 10.04. Like they want to communicate to each other. They will communicate with the help of the switch. They will
Mhm.
communicate with the help of the switch. Suppose if you think like this is your office. This is your office. All devices are connected to your local network. Understood?
Okay. Mm.
There is here you don't need any internet. You don't need any internet. You don't need any internet. So here all these devices may communicate with the help of the switch within the office. Understood? If this device want to access the Google or Facebook like outside, Facebook and Google is there in the outside.
Mm.
So then it go to the traffic will go to the where? Router, and router will redirect towards the ISP. Router will provide the internet connectivity.
Internet connectivity.
Switch won't provide any internet connectivity. Switch won't provide
Any
any
internet.
internet connectivity. Who will provide the internet connectivity? Router is a WAN device. It is also known as the which make communication to the outside network. Outside. Internet is outside.
Mhm.
Your office is inside.
Mm.
Understand?
Mm.
So your office devices, they will communicate with the help of the switch.
Mm.
Okay?
Okay.
If this request want to go outside, the router will go send the request to the outside. and the internet connectivity will be provided. Okay.
Mm.
This is a physical network. This is called physical network. Another thing is there. In generally, there is another device is there that is known as the firewall. What is that?
Firewall.
Firewall. What is another word? Firewall.
File. Mm.
Firewall is a security device. What is that? Firewall
Security
is
device.
a security device.
Security device.
Firewall is a security device
Security device.
which monitors or filters the traffic inside and outside. Inside and out.
Outside. Mm.
So this is the inside. See this coming inside.
Mm.
Any traffic toward the
Mm.
network is inside. Toward the
Mm.
network. Remember that. And
Mhm.
security group also toward the server is not inside. Okay.
Okay. Good.
And this is the outside. Okay.
Okay. Mm.
It will monitor and filter the traffic, inside traffic and outside, outbound
Outside.
traffic and inbound traffic.
Inbound traffic. Mm.
Firewall.
Okay.
Firewall
Mm.
is a secure device which is also having, they will configure policies. They will have some policies, firewall policies, some
Mhm.
configurations. Based on the policies, based on the configuration, firewall will check the which IP address need to allow, which IP address need to be deny. Understood?
Yes.
Which
Yes. Yes.
services
Mm.
need to allow, which services need to be deny. Okay.
Mm.
Understood? So that is
Okay.
the purpose of the firewall.
Firewall. Mm.
So that is the purpose of the firewall. And each and every computer having, I told you that IP address is the IP address. Okay.
Mm.
How will you know the IP address? To know the IP address in Windows computer, if it is a Windows, then type ipconfig. Type ipconfig.
IP
Understood?
conf. Mm.
It show the IP address of your machine. This is your machine IP address. Your machine IP address. This is IPv6 IP address. Two types of IP address are there: IPv4 and V6. Okay.
Mm. Okay.
IPv4 is the present generation. Okay, presently you are using. IPv6 is a new one, new generation IP. Okay.
Okay. Mm.
In future they'll switch to IPv6. There now almost all companies are switching to V6. Now in future there will be V6 will be there, version 6.
Mhm. Okay. Mm.
And this is the subnet mask. This is the subnet mask, and this is the default gateway means router. This IP address. 1 minute. This IP address. This IP address is this one. 1 minute. Understand?
Yes, sir.
So this side maybe not visible properly. Okay. This side router.
Mm.
I told you that router having two IP addresses. One it will communicate with inside network. One with the help of IP address. Inside network it will communicate this IP address. Understood?
Mm-hmm.
All the devices. Suppose I
Mm.
have a college. College having a multiple rooms are there, multiple classrooms are there. All the classroom people are students. When the college time is over, then they will try to go outside by the main gate. Okay.
Mm.
The
Mhm.
main gate having inside and outside. Okay. Inside having a inside and a.
Inside and outside.
So inside IP address is this one. That is another default gateway. Understood?
Mm-hmm.
So another IP address is there. This IP address will assigned with ISP. Who will provide the IP address? ISP will provide the IP
ISP.
address. That is known as the public IP address. How will you know this one? My IP address. Well, what is my IP? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And this one is the my IP address. This is my
IP.
IP address. 106 51.52.51. Okay. Understand? So this is the public IP. This is the
Private IP address.
private IP. When you create a EC2 instance, see this, the internal traffic, they want to communicate inside with the help of this IP address. They will communicate this internal. Okay, this internal. Understood?
Mm-hmm.
So to communicate with outside, they want to communicate with outside. They want internet. What is that? Public IP address there.
Public IP address. Mm.
Even when you create a EC2 instance, when you create an EC2 instance,
We should instance.
there will be two IP addresses will be there. There will be two IP addresses will be there.
Two IP address.
One is the public,
One is private.
private. Public is assigned by the AWS, okay? And private IP address is private IP address. If you create your own VPC, the private IP address will be given by us. We are going to give the private IP address, okay?
Okay.
So if you don't create any, if you don't want this, basically, when the AWS console, when you create EC2 instance, you have one default VPC will be there, and that is default network is there. Whenever you create a EC2 instance, default will be, it will be created in the default VPC, in the default network. Understood? When you create EC2 instance, there will be an already default network will be there created by the AWS. This EC2 instance deployed in the default network, that is the default VPC. Default VPC. Understood?
Understood.
If the VPC is not there, we can't able to connect to the EC2 instance. EC2 instance is just a virtual machine.
Yes.
Your laptop is there. So I'm talking with you, or I'm having a Google Meet with you. Then how will you communicate with you? Because you are having the internet. Your laptop is connected to network.
Yes.
Same thing, the EC2 also needs to connect to the network. If this no network is there, there is no network is there, then the EC2 won't be able to connect to the internet or network. Understood?
Yes, yes.
There they will have a one default network will be there that is already created with AWS. When you create the EC2 instance, it will be created in the network.
Network.
Understood?
Understood.
So here our motto is there we are going to create our own network. We are going to create our
Own network.
that is the network is custom defined network. Mean that IP address will be chosen by us. IP address. Who will choose the IP address range? Which IP address I need to choose? IP address choose by us. And how many devices, means how many computers I want to connect in a network. How many computers I want to connect in a network. That was also taken by me. Okay. So there is an architecture is there, like a front end and back end is there. I want to connect all front end server to the internet, because the request will go to the front end. Whenever user request will first will come to the front end only. That is web server only. Understand?
Understood. Understood.
So in generally there is no connectivity for the database or back end. That is running in the back side. Why you want to provide for the back end for the public connectivity? If you provide the public connectivity for the back end, then what happens? There will be security will be less, and hackers going to attack on the database. Okay.
Okay.
So here I want to keep the database servers in the private, means I don't provide internet.
Okay.
Okay, and I want to provide these web servers in the public. Understood?
Okay.
So which network having a which network I need to give? Suppose I want to provide internet access for one network. I don't want to provide this internet to the another network. This customization can done by creating your own VPC.
VPC.
Understood? What does mean VPC? VPC stand for the virtual private cloud, which is nothing but a resembles like your physical network in your data center. Understand?
Understood.
Your data center is there. Your data center having a switches and routers, and all computers are there. IP addresses, wireless, all are connected. The network is there. So the VPC also resembles same. Okay?
Okay.
But you don't provide here physical one. Their network is physical connectivity they will provide. But here logically we are going to create a network. Understood?
Okay. Understood.
The background router switches, we don't go there. We don't have any connection. We don't provide any connection. This infrastructure will be provided by the AWS. Okay?
Okay.
So why we need to give to VPC means I want to create my own network that is to be isolated from others. The network should be
Isolated from others.
others. So then by creating the VPC, we can isolate our resources, provisioning or deploying in our own network. Understood?
Mm-hmm.
Huh?
Okay.
So here we can launch our AWS resources such as Amazon EC2 instance in our VPC. Okay?
Mm.
So what are the core components of the VPC? How are we going to build your own VPC in our cloud? We are going to learn. Understand?
Okay.
Here, next thing is there. Here, one. నేను తీసుకుంటాను ఫోటోస్ కూడా నేను తీసుకుంటాను చూడండి virtual private cloud is a what?
Hybrid model.
In which private cloud solutions provided in the public cloud infrastructure. Within the public, we are going to create a private. So this is the Amazon VPC private cloud provider, Amazon Web Services another private cloud. Okay. What are the accept? When you create the VPC, you are under control. You don't have a control how to which switch you need to choose, which router you need to use. That is out of control. Understood? Okay. So మీరు ఏ router ఏ switch అయ్యని మీరు చూసుకోలేదు. That is none of your business.
Okay.
But what things we can choose? What are the things under your control? Under your control are the IP address range. Okay.
Okay.
And CADR block. You know CADR block?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Here, see this. There are IP address are generally two versions. How many versions are there? IP address?
Two versions.
IPv4, IPv4,
V6.
and second one is the V6. Okay? What is that? Second one is the V6. One is the
Okay.
V4, second one is the V6.
V6.
So V4 presently we are using. Okay? Got it? V6 in future we are going to use. Okay? Already
Okay.
the implementation is started, but there is the future one. Which one? V4.
V6.
Okay. V6. Okay? Future one is V6. The V4 is a 32-bit address. Is that? V4 is a
32-bit address.
whereas V6 is a 128-bit address. V6 is a
Okay.
128-bit.
110-bit address.
So the total number of IP addresses are 2 to the power of 32. 2 power 32.
32.
The 2 power 32 that is equivalent to around 4 billion. What is that? Around 4 billion.
4 billion.
This means that this much of IP addresses are there. Billion means 100 crores. Okay, around 400 plus crores of IP addresses.
IP address are there.
In which one? V4. Okay.
V4.
So whereas V6 contains 2 to the power of 128. Is that 2 to the power of
128.
128? Got it? This equivalents to 10 power 34. This equivalents to how much?
10 power 34.
So can you read the 10 power 34? How much big it is?
Can
you read the 10 power 34? That is big value.
Very big value.
Very big value. This means that much of IP addresses are there in V6. Okay?
Okay.
Why are going to shifting to V6? Because of the consumption of the V4, utilization of the V4. Why it is utilized? Because each present now, in like if you go for 10-15 years back, there is only IP address can be used with the computer only. There is no other devices are there. So right now, almost all devices are IoT devices. Your TV having IP address, your car having IP address, your your laptop having IP address. Your phone having IP address. Your biometric device having IP address. CCTV having an IP address. Your pet having an IP address. Okay.
Okay.
So when the IP address demand is increasing day by day, huge number IP addresses is required. Then this IPv4 will be consumed or utilized. There is not enough to cope up the future demand. Okay. Then instead that we'll go for what? V6. Okay.
V6.
V6 is a very huge number. Okay.
Yes, yes.
This IP address range IPv4 is notated in the decimal form, decimal notation. Decimal. This is the decimal notation. There are binary number, decimal number, and hexadecimal number, octal number will be there. Okay. If you see this IP address, IPv4 IP address is in the what? In the decimal form.
Decimal form.
It is in the hexadecimal form. Hexadecimal is a alphanumerical number system. Base 16 will be there, and it will use the alphabets and numerical number. What
Okay. Mm.
IPv6 is notated in the
Decimal form. Hexamal decimal form.
and V4 is notated in the decimal form.
Decimal form.
So here IPv4 is a decimal, IPv6 is a hexadecimal. Hexadecimal.
Decimal.
IPv4 range. IPv4
For range.
range is the start from 0.0.0.2 to 255 dot range. Where it start, where it ends. Okay. Where it start, where it ends.
Where it ends.
It start from 0.0.02 ends to
255.2.
yes. This is the range. Okay.
Mm.
In this one, class A IP address, class A IP address, class A IP address is range from 0 to 127. What is the range?
0 to 127.
Okay, got it. Whereas class B అంటే ఇప్పుడు ఎక్కడి నుంచి స్టార్ట్ అవుతుంది, ఇక్కడ చూడండి 0 నుంచి స్టార్ట్ అవుతుంది. 0కి స్టార్ట్ ఎక్కడికంటే అవుతుంది, వేర్ ఇట్ ఎండ్స్ 255.
255.
సో క్లాస్ ఏ స్టార్ట్ ఫ్రమ్ 0 ends with what 127.
127.
Whereas B stand for B is from 128 to 191. Okay.
Okay.
So whereas class C start from the 192 to 223. What is that? 223. Whereas class D start from the 224 to 239. Okay. Whereas class C start from the 240 to 255 to 255. What is?
250.
Okay. So in this one, class A, BC are only used for the LAN and WAN.
Okay.
WAN means internet. Okay.
Okay.
For LAN, they want to communicate within the LAN, within the WAN. We'll use A, B, C only. We don't D and E. D and E are used for the routing purpose or research and development and multicasting. There is advanced configuration when you do. Routers will communicate with help of multicast type. They'll use the class D and class C. Generally, they don't use in the LAN and WAN. They don't use. D and E are excluded. With that?
Excluded.
We'll use only A, B, C only. Okay?
Okay.
If you assign after 224, the machine won't accept. Your machine won't accept it. It won't accept. It will be in the range of 223 only. Okay?
Okay.
Either we can use class A, either you can use class B, either you can use class C. Got it?
Got it.
Okay. So then I'm going to learn about the subnet mask. What is that?
Subnet
mask. Subnet mask is to differentiate between the network address and the broadcast address. Okay. So network and the broadcast. Network and the broadcast. What is it? Network and the broadcast address. Okay. Network and the broadcast address. To differentiate between network address and broadcast. Subnet mask. Okay. Subnet mask. Okay. Here, class A, for class A subnet mask, it is 255.0.0.0. Okay. For class B IP address. Class B IP address. So, okay. It is a 255.0.0. Okay. Here, class C. No need to go. I am just giving the extra information only. If you don't understand, don't leave it. Okay.
Okay.
Don't go be deep dive. Okay.
Okay.
So this is the subnet mask for class A. What is that? That is a fixed one. How much subnet mask for class A?
250.0.0.
Between any IP address between 0 to 127, what is the subnet mask? This one.
2.
If it is an IP address in between 192 to 223, what is the subnet mask?
225, 225,
255. 255.
255, sorry. Yeah.
So see this. Here my IP address is what?
192.
It is in the lies in which range? Lies in which range?
Class A.
Huh? Which range? 192.
Class.
Which range? 192. 192. Which
Class C.
Class C. That Class C. What is the subnet mask here?
255.
255 dot? 255
255.0.
Isn't it same?
Yes, yes.
What does mean subnet mask? Subnet mask. Okay, subnet mask. What does mean subnet mask? It should differentiate between the network and host address. Network address is host address. Don't be confused with what is the network and what is the host. Suppose if you take one city, okay, one city, an example, one city is there. In this city, you have a streets. That you have a streets. That you have a streets.
Streets.
City having a street. Okay.
Okay.
So in this street we have a houses. You have a what?
Houses.
You have a houses. Okay. So you have a house. This street is known as the network address.
Network address.
Street is known as what? Network address. If
Network
you see
address.
this, my door number is like my 45-1. My suppose think that my house number is. Another house number is 45-2. Okay.
Yes. Yes.
Another number is 45-3. If
Right.
you see this, what is the common here?
44.
What is the change here?
1, 2,
House
3.
number. The
House,
house number.
house numbers.
So these are the host. These are the and these are the network. These are the
Network.
understand?
Mm-hmm.
So what does mean this? Class A 255. In generally, how will you return this? This return can be written as a. I told you the class A is 32 bits. Okay.
Yes, yes.
So every bit, if you know binary number, Tilsa, you know binary.
Binary numbers. Yes.
So this is the 8-bit binary number 0. This represents 0.
0.
This represents what? 0.
0.
This represents 0. This 8-bit number represents 0. So
0,
how many bits are there? 32 bits are there. Okay.
32.
Got it? So here
Yes.
0, 0, 0 and 0, 0, 0. Okay. Again 0, 0, 0. 0, 0, 0, 0. Again 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. So 0. This is the thing. Okay. So
Okay.
what does mean 255 means? Once this will become 1. If we add all ones, it becomes 255. You don't know binary addition? Binary. I'll just show you. You don't know. I'll just show you. If you don't know, then I will tell you that how to do.
I'll tell you.
తెలుసు కదా? So, but anyhow, I will explain you. So, if you have the binary, how will you convert this binary number? Okay. This is the number. What is that? 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. So here, how will you write down the binary number? The powers of the 2. Powers of the 2.
2.
That is 2 power 0. 2 power 1.
1.
2 power 2.
2 power 2.
2 power 3.
2 power 3.
And so on. 4, 5, 6, 7. So what is the 2 power 7 value? 2 into 2 into 2 into 7 times. 128,
64,
32, 16,
16,
8, 4, 2, 1.
4, 3.
Okay. Here, what is the 255 means? 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. Understand? So how many ones are there? 8 ones are there.
8 ones are there.
8 ones are there. If you add all this, become 255. Okay, these are 255. Mean that this is the network portion. This is the network portion.
Network portion.
Mean that 2 power 8 networks are there in class A. Understand?
Okay.
So this is the host portion. All are host portion. We have only 2 port 8 networks and 2 port 24 hosts. Mean that there is a city is there where having only 250 2 port 8 networks and 2 port 24 hosts. Got it?
Okay. Got it.
So there is one city is there where having a only 256 generally 2 per 8 streets are there, where each street contains the 2 per 24 hosts.
124 house.
Okay, done. Then second thing is there. Second thing. So this is the 16 networks and 16 hosts. Got it?
Yes, yes.
What does mean that 2 per 16 streets are there? It is around 65,000. Okay. Each network contains 65,000. Each network contains 2 per 16 again 65,000 around. Whereas class C is a 2 per 24.
Okay.
Hosts are only 2 per 8. Got it? 2 per 8.
8.
So means that it is contains this much of networks, but each network contains only how many
One
hosts?
house. One house. 256 house.
256.
2 per 8.
Suppose
Yes,
I have a network is there in Data Pro. We have only 100 computers here.
yes.
So when we want to make as a network in our computer, then to connect 100 computers, I go for the class C. Why you go for the D and B and C? If you take a B, it is a 2 per 16. That is 65,000 around. Got it? Whereas if you take a class A, it is around 16.7 million. Each network contains how many hosts are there? 16.7 million hosts are there in the class A, because 2 per 24.
Okay.
Understood?
Understood.
Whereas class B contains 2 per 16 hosts. Okay? That is around 65K.
Okay.
My network is only 100 computers. If you take class B, then what happens? 100 computers are used. Remaining 65,900 and 64,900 are unused.
Yes.
Got it?
Got it.
Suppose your classroom is there. So there is only 10 students are there. Then in one seminar hall is there. There 200 people are sitting there. 200 sharing capacity there. Why you want to go for that much of big seminar hall that is having so many of AC, electrical consumption? Why you go for a small room you can take?
Yes.
Same thing here also. Here, so hosts are less in the class A. Networks are more in the class C. Networks are more, hosts are less. Whereas class A, networks are less and
hosts are more.
hosts are less. Here, how many hosts are there? See this. How many hosts are
2
there?
per 8.
2 per 8. Okay, remember. Here 2 per 8 means 256. What is that?
256.
256. Okay, 256. In the 256, we'll go into minus the 2. Okay? That is known as the network address and broadcast address. Network address, broadcast address are minus. Okay? We can use only 254. Suppose I will tell you that. Suppose an IP address is there. If you take this an IP address, example, I have an IP address is there 192.168. It is a class C IP address. Remember that.
Yes.
Class C. 168.1.0. 0. It starts 0 is known as what?
Network.
We can't use 0. We can't use 255 at the last number. It is not allowed. They are known as the network address and broadcast address. Understand?
Okay.
They are known as the network address and the broadcast address.
Broadcast
They
numbers.
are used for the internal communication. Any IP address. If you take any IP address, any IP address range, any from 0 to 255, any IP address, the IP address which ends with the 0, which ends with 250, the total range is start from 0 end with the 255, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
So we can't take as a last 0, last 255. Okay? This
Okay.
last 0 is known as the network address.
Okay.
This last IP address is known as the this is the start one is the network, last one is the broadcast. Okay? Got
Okay.
it? So how
Got
many in a class C? How many computers are there in single network? 254. 254. Class
Okay.
C. Because we are done minus 2. Okay? Here also 65,536. That is around 536 around. So we'll do minus here, minus 2. Again having a minus 2, again minus having IP address, minus 2. Here minus 2, not 32, minus 2. Here also having a minus 2. Which one? Class A also having a minus 2. Okay. Every network you need to do minus 2. That is known as the
network
broadcast.
and
Okay.
broadcast.
In AWS, okay. In AWS, when you create a network, or when the default AWS network already created, if you take a class C, if you take a
Class C.
got it? Class C. Okay. So this is the 254. How many you can use? Minus, that is 2 excluded. Okay. In class C is a 254. Again it is minus 3. Got it?
Okay.
It will take 5 IP addresses. AWS will exclude 5 IP addresses.
Okay.
Why they take the 5 IP address? Every network, if you take any network, these 5 IP addresses are excluded. Why they exclude? Because of the internal communication. Internally, then the devices will communicate with each other with the help of these IP addresses. Got it? Understand?
Yes.
So, how many IP addresses are excluded in any network? Any network. If you take AWS, will exclude the 5 IP addresses.
5 IP address.
In the physical network, we will going to exclude 2.
Okay.
Even Azure also do same thing. Even Google also do the same thing. Okay. All cloud, all are same. All are same thing.
Yeah.
Suppose if AWS infrastructure is like availability zone, regions, and say data center availability zone is there, region is there. Same concept applied in the Google, same concept applied on the Azure cloud, same concept applied in the Oracle cloud, same thing. All clouds provide the same structure only. The name only change.
Okay.
If you create a virtual machine, that is in Azure, it is known as the virtual machine. Virtual machine is known as the virtual machine in Azure. Got it? Whereas it is known as the EC2 in the AWS cloud. Okay? It is known as the compute engine in the Google cloud.
Okay.
All are same. Behavior is same. Nothing but UI is different. The same concepts are applied in the all clouds.
Okay.
Suppose I want to deploy web server. Just you need to know how to create a virtual machine only. Remaining things are same. What are the commands I use? apt install nginx -y, service system ctl service check. All these commands are same any cloud. That won't change. Okay. It is around. If you learn a single cloud, then only you need to know 30% for other clouds only. 70-80% are same. Easily you can learn the other cloud. Okay? Easily you can learn the other cloud, no issue at all. If you learn properly, if you understand properly, very good not much. I am not attending the classes regularly, I am not doing the practices. So that is not the case. If you have done fair amount of hard work, then easily you can understand the other clouds. There is no need to go for the training or something else. Okay, easily you can understand. The thing is only UI only. UI is different. Okay, user interface is different. Remaining things are same.
Okay.
Easily you can learn. How you learn all this cloud? I know Azure cloud. Even I had taken so many corporate batches. AWS had not taken the corporate batches, but corporate batches I had taken the Azure. How I understand? Because of the one cloud, if you understand properly, easily you can understand other cloud. No, not a big issue at all.
Okay.
Easily you can learn. Easily you can go for other cloud. Okay?
Okay.
So this is the subnet mask for the class A is how much?
-2.
255.0.0.
255.0.
B is 255.0.0.
Zero.
So 255.255. If you understand this concept properly, you can create our own network. Means that you can architect or you can design your own network. How many computers or how many networks are I need to create? How many where their single network contains how many computers? All these things easily you can do. If you don't understand properly, then will be like a thumb method. Use thumb rule. Okay, like default values you take. Okay,
Okay.
understood.
Okay.
So that is the thing. What is the class A subnet mask? 258.
0.0.
What is the subnet mask for class B?
255.255.0.
Okay, done. Here, see this. How many bits are there? 32 bits are there, isn't it?
Yes, yes.
So how many bits are 1? 8 bits are 1. Remember that,
Hmm.
this one.
Hmm.
How many
Yes,
bits
yes.
are 1? 8 bits are 1.
8 bits, 7.
This can be written as 8. Okay?
Okay.
In generally, in real time, they will don't write the subnet mask. Instead of writing the subnet mask, they will write down as a /8 because
Okay.
8 bits are network bits.
True.
Got
True.
it?
Okay. Hmm.
This is known as the CADR value. This is known as what?
CIDR
ఈ
value.
చిన్న పాయింట్ చెప్పడానికి మీకు ఇది హాఫ్ అన్ అవర్ తీసుకున్నాను. ఓకే,
Okay. Okay.
అలా ఉంటుంది. దర్ ఈస్ వెన్ యూ వాంట్ టు లెర్న్, వెన్ యూ వాంట్ టు హ్యావ్ ఎ వెరీ క్యూరియాసిటీ, యూ హ్యావ్ ఎ వెరీ క్యూరియస్ అబౌట్ ద సబ్జెక్ట్ అండ్ very much passionate about the subject, single word will leads to so many things you can learn. You are not much curious, you won't learn much. Okay?
Hmm.
Okay.
Okay, sir.
So what does
Okay.
CDR means? It is a notation for the subnet.
Hmm.
CADR means classless internet domain routing. Classless internet
Internet domain routing.
Okay.
Hmm.
So for class A, what is the CADR value here? /8.
/8.
What does mean that it is having a 8 network bits and a 24 host bit. Understand?
Host bits. Hmm.
Suppose it is a 16. Got it?
Hmm.
It is
24.
24. Is it okay? 24 now.
Yes, yes. 24.
Mean that how many host bits remaining? 32
Only one.
minus for 24.
Hmm.
Total bits are how many? 32.
32.
Total bits are how many? Is
32.
it 32?
32 bits.
32 bits. So here I used how many bits? It is 8 means 32 minus 8 means 24 bits.
24.
That is 2 per 24 bits for the host. That much of IP address can be assigned in a single network. Got it?
Got it. Hmm.
Then here is the B. What is that? B.
Hmm.
Okay. If you take a B here, again what is that? 32 minus
16.
16. How many bits you can take here? 16.
16.
Got it?
Yes.
Next here for C, it is how much CADR value? 24.
24.
That is 32 minus 24.
24.
How many bits left for the host? 8
8
bits.
bits. Hmm.
Got it? This is a 2 per 24, 2 per 16.
2 per 8.
Okay, done. Instead of that, if you take the value as a 10 bits, how many network bits are there?
10.
Network
8.
bits are how many type? I'll just write
8.
down here 10. Got it?
Hmm.
10. I'll make it as 10. Okay? Then how many bits are there in the network?
Class here.
32. How many total network bits are? How many bits are there?
32.
32. Minus 10.
Hmm.
Okay?
Hmm.
How many host bits are left? 22.
22.
How many hosts you can there? 2 per 22.
Hmm.
Got it?
Got it.
Suppose there is a requirement is there from our client side. These programmers are there. I want to deploy. Okay. I want to deploy 1,000 servers for the front end. Okay.
Okay.
1,000 servers for the back end. Okay. 1,000 servers for the front end. 1,000 servers for the back end. These 1,000 servers front end is one network. Okay. 1,000 server back end is another network. There is a requirement is there. So 1,000 servers need to be created in front end, 1,000 servers in the back end. Then how will you design? So this means that 1,000 means what is the value? 1,000 means how many network bits are, total bits are 32.
32.
How many host bits I needed? 10 bits I need, because 2 per 10 value is 1024.
Yes.
2 per 10 is equivalent to 1024.
1024.
Mean that 32 minus 22. Network bits are how many?
22.
So how many host bits left? 10.
10.
2 per 10 equivalents to 1024.
1024.
So then what is the CADR notation become? What? 22. Got it? How much?
22.
So mean that network bits are 22 hosts per 10. Each network contains 1024 hosts. Okay?
Okay.
Same thing we're going to see this in the AWS, how it is designed. Okay? So there
Okay.
is, I told you that already one default network is automatically created by the
Like
AWS.
AWS.
All the
When you
resources
create
are
an
deployed
initiative
in the
instance.
default VPC. Previously, we had learned that in auto scaling, load balancer, EC2 instance, and EBS all are deployed in the default VPC. Okay?
Mm.
We are not
Okay.
use the customized VPC. From
Mm.
tomorrow onwards, we're going to use the customized VPC also. AWS DevOps. I just log into my app console. So each and every region having a own VPC. How many regions are there? Around 35 plus regions are there. Okay, up to now.
Mm.
Okay,
Mm.
got it? How many regions
Yes.
are there?
35 plus.
So 35 regions, each and every region have a own VPC,
Separate.
separate
Mm.
VPC. Mumbai region having their own VPC, North Virginia have their own VPC, like every region having own VPC. Okay,
Okay. Mm.
so then, and this VPC, this VPC again divided into subnets. What is that?
Subnets.
What does mean subnet? It is like an example taken if there is a class, if a college is the engineering college there. This engineering college having a around 1200 member students are there. This engineering college again divided into computers engineering, computer engineering, electronics engineering, mechanical engineering, electrical engineering, chemical engineering, like that we are divided the classes,
Mm.
branches. Each and
Okay.
every having a 200 students. Okay.
Mm. Yes.
So
Yes.
that is one group. That is known as
Mm.
subnet. VPC is a big network. College is a whole. VPC is a big network. This VPC again divided into small parts. That is known as the subnet. Okay. What it?
Okay. Mm.
I
Got
told
it.
you
Got
that
it.
we're going to deploy the front-end server for one network, back-end server for another network. How will you divide? Within the college only, we're going to divide the different branches. Like that, within the VPC, we're going to divide the different network.
Different.
That is called a
Different.
subnet. Got it? Subnet is
Got.
a segment of VPC. It is in the range, VPC range.
Mm.
VPC is the big network.
Yes.
This big network again divided into small parts. Each network is small network is known as the subnet.
Mm.
Okay. This subnet is used for the one subnet for the front end, another subnet for the back end. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
Okay.
Mm.
So whenever you log into the AWS, automatically VPC is created. That is the default VPC created by the AWS.
Yes.
We are not created AWS set. We are about to in the future. Tomorrow we're going to create the VPC. Okay. Here
Okay.
in the click on the services where the VPC there. It is there in network and content delivery. Network and content delivery.
Content delivery.
Network and content delivery.
Content delivery.
And in this one you have a VPC. What is that?
VPC.
So VPC is known as isolated cloud resources. Isolated
Mm. Cloud resource.
mean that own network.
Mm.
Okay, just now open. Okay, we're going to learn the remaining components. VPS components we are not learned so far. So these are the components. These are the components. Okay.
Okay. Okay. Mm.
Here in the VPC, if you see this is VPC is there.
Mm.
I just click on this VPC. So this is a VPC. What is the network here?
172.31.
And how many subnet? You remember the subnet? Subnet. How many
16.
16 is a maximum 65,000 we can deploy.
Ah.
This VPC how many we can deploy? Only 65,000.
65,000.
This VPC contains again subnet. I told you that.
Mm. Yes. Yes.
Subnet when default VPC, if it is a North Virginia having a 6 availability zone, okay.
Mm.
Each availability zone have a one subnet. 6 availability
Okay.
zone, 6 subnet.
6 subnets. Huh?
Mumbai 3 availability zone, 3 subnets.
Okay.
This VPC is divided into segment, small parts.
Okay. Mm.
The small part is known as the subnet. How many subnets are there? 6 subnets.
Mm.
Got it? 1,
Got it.
2, 3.
Okay.
Each availability is having one subnet. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
Another thing, there is IP address range. IP address range. See this.
Mm.
Okay. There is
Yes.
an
Yes.
IP address range within the VPC. VPC under the VPC again divide this VPC divided small part. They have taken this an IP address. See this.
Mm-hmm.
What does mean /20? I told you that just now. I told you that
CID
/20.
value.
CID -2 -20.
Mm.
32
Mm.
minus 20. 32.
Mm. Minus 20.
That is how much value? 12.
12. Mm.
What is
2
the
per
value
12.
of 2 port 12? 40. 2 port 10
Nine
value
six.
is 1024.
40 96.
4096.
Mm.
2 port 10 equivalents to 1024. Isn't
Mm.
it?
Yes. Yes.
So 2 port 11 is 1024 into 2.
Yes.
2048.
204.
2 port 12 is again 1 2. Okay?
Mm.
That is 2048
4.
into 2. That is 4096.
4096.
That
Mm.
how many IP address can accommodate in network? 4096.
4096.
How many IP address can be accommodated in 4096? I told you that you need to do -5.
-5. Availability.
Minus
AWS
5.
availability.
Okay? See this.
Mm-hmm.
-5. Okay?
Mm.
I just slide here. How many IP addresses are available?
4091.
Now perfect.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. So this
Mm-hmm.
was designed by the AWS. It does mean, what does mean that this network contains, they had created a single network that can accommodate only 409 IP addresses only. Mean that 40991 EC2 instances only we can deploy. We can create. Got it?
Okay. Got it. Mm.
So nobody will tell you like that in deep. I'm not boasting myself or like that నేనేదో గొప్పగా చెప్పుకోవట్లే. So you don't go that much of deep like how they are designed in the, if you go for YouTube or some other class, like other trainers who don't much that much have deeper knowledge. Why have the deeper knowledge? Because of I'm basically networking guy.
Uh-huh. Yes. Yes.
Too much of experience there in networking. I have having around 17 years of experience in the networking field, like CCNA, networking, routers, servers, server administrations, Linux servers, all these things. The basic my domain is that.
Okay.
That's why this, how their data center will be designed, this all the considerations I know very well. Okay? Got it?
Okay. Got it.
So here, when I want to create network tomorrow, I told you that customized network. Okay?
Mm.
Okay.
Okay.
So I told you that just now. I want to create a network. I want to create a network that contains 1000 hosts. How many hosts?
1000 hosts.
1000 hosts. So then what is the value here? 2 per 32 minus 30. What is the value here? 22.
22.
We need to give the value as a 22.
22.
So when you give the 22 value, that having only 1000 hosts and 22 network. Okay?
Mm. Okay.
So that is the thing. So remaining things we're going to learn tomorrow. So what are the things are there? What are the components of the VPC? What does mean by subnet? What is the routing table? What does mean internet gateway? What does mean egress include gateway? What does mean NAT gateway? What does mean elastic API? What does mean DS option set? All these things learn tomorrow. So okay. So just learn tomorrow, and we're going to do the practical how to create a VPC. How to create a VPC.
VPC.
So and we're going to deploy your resources in your own VPC. Instead of default VPC, we're going to deploy your resources in our own VPC.
VPC. Mm.
So got it?
Got it. Got it.
So any doubt? Today's class? Any doubt? Okay.
Okay.
Any doubt? Today's class?
లేదు సార్ ఒకసారి మళ్ళీ చూస్తాను.
Okay. I'll just send you video to you. Okay,
Mm.
na?
Okay.
Okay. Tomorrow I'll see you.